colleague here, Laura Pasca, said that the Air Force informed the New Mexico Environment Department and local residents about PFAS contamination of groundwater at Canyon Air Force Base 3 years ago. And there's still no cleanup plan in place, and the plume hasn't been mapped. From your perspective, what's going on here and what needs to be done?
We had a lot of frustrations, many of us in the New Mexico delegation under the previous administration. President Trump's administration was not a willing partner in us moving policies. As a matter of fact, when I was able to include a provision of the National Defense Authorization Act that would require cleanup, President Trump actually threatened a veto of the National Defense Authorization Act over cleanup responsibility with PFAS and PFOA across America. I am now working with members of the New Mexico delegation, with the United States Department of Agriculture Secretary, Mr. Vilsack. We're also going to be working through the Department of Defense with Secretary Austin. And once we have our permanent secretaries, especially with the Air Force, we're going to move forward very aggressively to make sure we're adopting legislation to clean up this carcinogen. PFAS, PFOA cause cancer. In addition to that, we have farmers in New Mexico who also need our support. And we need, I will be personally actually raising these issues with Secretary Vilsack because we haven't heard recently from some of the other staff that we were working with. This has to get cleaned up. This is another liability from the United States of America, especially with military bases and other non-military uses across the country. And it's not just New Mexico. You can look across America and see state by state. And that's why there's so many members, Democratic and Republican, that are coming together to be able to solve this issue and to require cleanup in our communities.
And of course, there's also the issue of cost. Is it fair that New Mexicans have to foot the bill for state studies in Curry and Roosevelt counties that are ongoing?
With which again, Russ?
With the studies, state studies are related to this contamination, because some of that cost has been passed over to the taxpayers.
Well, look, there should not be a liability to the state, right? There's a federal response cleanup, especially when it relates to military bases. And now that we've seen that contamination, especially out in Curry County, in proximity to the Air Force Base out that way, and cattle that have been lost, water that is not safe to drink or to use. This again is a full responsibility of the federal government in this case, where it involves federal installations.